Hi Aquarius, here's a general look at your solar chart for May 2011, but just a brief word about the slow-moving outer planets Uranus and Pluto. Uranus, along with Pluto and Neptune, are known as transpersonal planets, and as such they trigger cycles which affect us globally. They have a generational effect. And in 2011, Uranus and Pluto, with Saturn at times, will be impacting us very strongly, which means that the bigger wheels, or so-called circumstances beyond our control, will have a bearing to a greater or lesser degree according to how they connect with your natal chart. So that'll be in a direct way or an indirect way, kind of through others and what's happening to others. In general, Uranus has since March been zeroing in on the slower moving Pluto. As mentioned in the forecast I did for your sign for 2011, when these two get together, they tend to produce sudden events worldwide which can set us back on our heels, force us to reassess things, sometimes forces us to reassess the whole of our lives. Their job in our lives is to tear down the existing order in order to clear the decks for fresh growth. In our lives, this depends on how they aspect our natal chart to know, the strength of this impact. But globally, this combination can be unpredictable, explosive, powerful, but ultimately revitalizing and regenerating, although it doesn't feel like that at the time. Uranus is about sudden change. And an urge to be free. It's kind of got a restless, high-octane energy with it. And Pluto is about evolution. And when these two get together, they can manifest as external factors, or the bigger wheels forcing disruption upon us, but also a feeling of unrest amongst us and tension in the air. In the current aspect, there is likely to be turbulence, stress, and trauma. That, plus the current conjunction of the North Node with the galactic center, amounts to a huge evolutionary kick in the pants, and that's what we're undergoing now. But of course, there are other transits going on as well, but that's just me looking at those. And there's another video on here under my name which talks a bit more about those transpersonal planetary energies and how they're affecting us in this long cycle that we're in. Now for you this month, Aquarius, it looks like the focus is going to be on the domestic side of life, the private base of operations. From the 10th, maybe you want to be improving things at home or your work setup, or maybe helping somebody out with theirs, or maybe somebody's helping you out with yours, literally moving things around. Venus and Mercury is in your communication sector until mid-month, and that's helping you to be more articulate and persuasive, intuitive, smoothing the path, helping to iron out any differences. So if you need to, until mid-month with Venus and Mercury, there's a good time to do that. And this is good news for you arty Aquarians as well, because Venus there is going to enliven your ideas. Give you more flow. It's also good for buying, selling, promotional activity, diplomacy, negotiations of all kinds. So a busy, chatty time in store up until mid-month. And then from mid-month, the focus is going to shift it's going to be more introspective. It's going to be more upon, the weight will shift to the emotional foundations, and there may be more interaction with family or tribe or local community. It's the private life. It's where your affinities lie. But you're going to be far from feeling stuck in that environment, because your private environment may become, chattier and busier. You could be the visitor in somebody else's space, or there could be a visitor in your space. Also, you could be making connections over the wires from your base of operations, wherever you are, because it doesn't have to be your long-term home. You could be somewhere else. But there's just a lot of planetary activities homing in on that area there. But busy wherever you are. Could be making short journeys as well. And you should be feeling pretty sociable and mobile within your community and making new connections as well, and new friends, and maybe if there's been a long-standing feud with someone, then this is the time to kind of, bury the hatchet, really. And that will be more from mid-month onwards. On another level, this is a great time for buying and selling a property, that kind of thing, from mid-month. Jupiter is in this sector, this communications sector as well, so you'll have been getting educated and maybe enlightened or learning a lot from your environment or doing a course of some kind. Jupiter tends to open new doors in your mind, showing you a different slant on things, a different way of seeing things. And your mind could be full of information at times. This transit's been going on for a while now, and it's due to end on June the 5th. And also others' input, you don't have to necessarily agree with what they say, but at least it's useful and maybe helps you clarify what you think about something. Also good for exploring new territories, physical new territories. Perhaps connecting with those at a distance, being drawn to somewhere at a distance. So it's a good time to be casting your nets wide, connecting with others at a distance. The main thing to remember is that you should be flexible and open-minded about your options, and also ready to widen your scope or your territory in some way. And Uranus is also there. That's your ruling planet. It's going to be there for about 7 years. It's moving very, very slowly. You Aquarians born in the first week or the first 5 degrees of Aquarius rising are going to be feeling this vibration mostly over May. Uranus in this area will be changing the way you think, opening your mind to things that you didn't even know were out there. Maybe it's to do with the language around you or the jargon around you. It's going to expose you maybe to the bizarre, the unusual, the weird. Like, you might get into training to be an astrologer or an astronomer or an astronaut, or, something which is very much not mainstream. And this energy also favors anything innovative in the field of IT or sustainable energy, anything leading edge, anything inventive, right on the cutting edge. If you've been building steadily towards a goal for a while through academia or in the communications or publishing area, or to do with a foreign culture or foreign people who are foreign or who are from a different background, they have a different take on things. The position of Saturn at the moment, it tends to. It does two things. It kind of tends to shut you off and close your mind to that broader perspective, but also it's very, very good for slowly building connections with those that can give you that broader perspective or that different geographical location. Saturn's very realistic and evidence-based. It needs proof, and this position of Saturn means that you might be too rigid sometimes in your thinking, or the structure that you are adhering to in your thinking, and you miss something which is right under your nose. And that could be around academia, it could be around spiritual philosophy, it could be just to do with your path in life as well. And maybe you are evaluating things now, asking yourself, which direction you'd like to go in, which academic area you'd like to go into, or spiritual spiritual development or place on the map, globally that you'd like to be in. Neptune has temporarily moved out of your sign. It did that in April, early April. It'll be out until August, but it'll only go back into the very, very end degrees of your sign when it comes back in August. And especially for late Aquarians, that will start to clear away the confusions or the uncertainties where your dreams and ideals are concerned. However, because it's not moving very far away, there still will be that tendency of you to not be realistic about things. But earlier Aquarians, definitely, that will mean that this sense of reality will kick in, with a sense of clarity, and being able to crystallize your aims will come in. The new position of Neptune means that you will be able to earth your aspirations or your dreams, your ideals in a very sort of functional, practical kind of way. You're learning, you'll be able to just apply yourself better, and of course that could mean that you have to learn a new skill or a new way of working, but also if you develop yourself in the right way, it could be lucrative for you. And Pluto is just ticking away there, and it's going to continue to root out old habits and knee-jerk responses, which, having you shooting yourself in the foot at critical moments, and it's definitely counterproductive. But definitely where Pluto is working away in the background, it's going to help you to slay the demons and regenerate from deep levels. But those demons are likely to pop up, and that's going to affect a little bit more Aquarians born within the 3rd and 10th degree of Aquarius or with Aquarius rising. And from the 21st, you'll be walking with a lighter step and begin to have more access to entertaining activities and sort of socializing in a more fun, self-indulgent kind of way. So that sounds good. And that's it for May. If you know your rising sign, listen to that too. It'll throw another slant on what I've said here. And I'll see you the next time.